Hello everyone, hope everyone is doing well. So today I have some information that I want to share, but first I want to talk about two previous videos that I posted. One of them was last year in December, the other was in January of this year. Now, the first one in December was about two photos which I thought could have been photos of Gary. I'm going to tell you what happened in the first incident and the reason for why I thought they were his photos. By the way, I've already did a video about this first incident to apologize for that error. I did a video already, but I'm going to repeat. And I don't want to spend a lot of time because, as I said, I've already apologized for this. So what had happened, though, is that basically I thought that there was a photo which could have been Gary's photo. But instead, it turned out to be a photo of the father to the groom. Okay, so in other words, this particular photo was actually a photo of Gary's daughter when she got married. Okay, that photo was the father of the man that she married. In other words, it was her father-in-law. So, but the reason why I thought it could have been Darth, even though I had a description of him, he had described himself, and the photo that I posted didn't look anything like the description. But I know Gary is a liar, so I went ahead and I posted that photo. But it's the father on the other side of the family. It's not Gary. The title under the photo said, "The bride dancing with the father." So I thought that could be the daughter's father, which would be Gary. But it's the father-in-law. All right, that was the first incident. The second incident was earlier this year where I posted two more photos. I'm going to tell you what happened in that case. So I'm not going to give all the details, but I'm going to give enough so that you can understand exactly what took place. Those two photos I received in an email. And it was a reply to an email that I had sent. I had the contact information for, I will say, a relation, someone who was related to Gary. So I was able to email that person. I received an email back from who I thought was that person. But what actually happened? Well, there's three possibilities. Number one, when I emailed that to this contact, that person looked at my email that I sent and they did not even look at it. They just forwarded it to Gary. So that person may have never even saw it. They immediately forwarded it to Gary. So in other words, if that happened, my email was compromised. That's one possibility. The other second possibility is that that person that I sent it to did look at it, but still they went ahead and they forwarded it to Gary, either way. And then when Gary received it, he sent an email back to me with those two photos, which turned out to be Paul Holiday. It was not Gary. So that email I sent out was compromised. The third possibility, which I doubt very much took place, I doubt it, strongly doubt it, is that Gary had a shared social media with his ex. Well, at that time, so at one time they would have had a shared either an email account or a social media account. They shared it. So they had the password as a shared password. But that all changed, I think, probably, I'm assuming, once they got either separated or divorced. Then usually when people are either separated or divorced, they do not want to have a shared social media account with whoever they are divorcing. So the only third option I could think of, which again, I say I don't believe it, no, there's no way, I do not believe it personally, that they could have had a shared social media account where Gary was the one that saw my email and then he went ahead and replied to me. So in other words, Gary had control over his ex's social media. If you can believe that, go ahead and believe it. But I don't. I do not believe, since they were, and this is going back, they were already either separated or divorced since at least 10 years ago. So I do not believe they had a shared social media. So either way, no matter what, which one of the three options, the second email or the second video, when I received the two photos, I didn't know that was Paul Holiday until somebody told me to check. When I went to Google and I looked at Google Images, I saw Paul Holiday. So that was Paul Holiday. I screwed up again the second time. So I am going to make it clear this time, I will not say 100% that photos, I have received some photos and I'm going to show them. But I will not say 100% that this is Gary's photos. But I will say, let me put it this way, the evidence is so strong, I believe it'll hold up in a court of law. If somebody were to challenge this, I believe it. For example, if somebody were to challenge me and to go to court on this, I could prove it in court that these are Gary's photos. That's how strongly I believe. But I'm going to say I believe it 95% or better. But I will not say 100% that these are his photos. I will not say that this time because I try to learn from my errors. So I will not repeat that same error for a third time. But I will say, like I said, that I think these are his photos, and the evidence is so strong, it'll hold up in a court of law. Now, I'm going to give you some background as to how I got the photos. But again, this is my third time. I don't want to do it a fourth. I'm going to explain to you how I can make the connection. It's just basically just, let me use this phrase. It's playing the game of connecting the dots. Okay? That's what I call it. So it's just taking two sources and comparing them and then just continuing, and you can build a connection. Okay? Now let me start out by saying I know for a fact, this is not speculation, this is not conjecture, it is a fact. I know for a fact that Gary was married to a lady by the name of Carol Snow. Carol Snow has more than one social media account. More than one. She even has a YouTube channel. She has a Flickr account. She has hundreds of photos on social media. She also has a Facebook account. All right, so there is no doubt that this lady by the name of Carol Snow is Gary's ex. There's even a video where they interviewed Carol. That video link can be found in some of my videos. They did an interview. So she's speaking. We can hear her voice. And when we listen to the voice in the interview and compare it to the YouTube videos, it's the same voice and it's the same lady. They're not doppelgangers. It is the same lady. Now, so I know also for a fact, this is a fact, not speculation. There were in that family, Carol's family, okay, there were two brothers. Okay, so it was two brothers and Carol. I even know the names of both of the brothers. Now, Gary and Carol had a daughter by the name of Amy. Amy has a Flickr account, and in that account, there is a photo wedding album. That's where the first photo that I posted came from. It came from that album. But there is a marriage photo in that album, which there is a duplicate of it in another social media account under the name of Carol Snow. So it's the same family, they are connected. These families, there is a connection. It can be proven that they are connected. We have the names of all of Gary's brothers and sisters. We already have that. We also have the names of the two brothers, which were Carol's brothers, okay? But there is a connection that can be made, and that will stand up in a court of law, okay? Now, so what happened was, in this case, these last three photos that I received recently were, first of all, I'll call it a reliable, what I think is a very reliable contact, but I'm not going to name who that is. Okay, what you are now looking at, that is a photo of Gary's children. Okay? Now, the youngest one is the second on the left. His name is Andrew. When this photo was taken, Andrew was 16 years old. And I know the date that the photo was taken. The lady in the front, in the center, is Stephanie. The lady on the left side, her name is Amy. All right. So that girl in front, or the woman in front by the name of Stephanie, that is the individual that got married, and that's the same girl that appears in the social media of the wedding album. So when she was dancing with the father, she was dancing with the father of the groom, not Gary. That was my error. Now, I'm going to show you a second screenshot. What you are now looking at is the obituary for Carol's mother. Unfortunately, she passed away this year, April 5th. That is her. That's Carol's mother. Under the obituary, the information, it lists the names of the children. There are 3 children. You read that, you can see Carol's name, Carol Snow Milne. Her maiden name was Snow. Also listed are the 2 brothers, Arthur C. Snow and Ronald K. Snow. It even has the grandchildren. There's one of them is Stephanie. That was from the wedding album. And David, Chris, Stephen, okay, Amy Milne right there, and Andrew. Andrew is the youngest one. So the grandchildren are listed there as well. So we know that that is the mother of Carol, without a doubt. Now, I didn't just see this on one single social media. There are multiple social medias that show the obituary, not just one. So this was not something that somebody could have, well, let me just put it this way. It wasn't something that Gary posted, because if he did, he would have had to have created more than one social media to show the obituary. It would be ridiculous, I think, to think that that would be the case, that he would go so far, even as deceptive as he is, that he would go so far as to create a social media account of the ex's mother to show that she died, when in fact, or if she really didn't. But if you Google this name, Ruth Claire Snow Vanderpyle, you can find the obituary. It's not just on one social media. So that can hold up in a court of law. That evidence can hold up in a court of law. Now, this photo is Gary's high school photo. There are more than one video, I think even including mine, but on other YouTube channels, as well as in other social media, this photo appears. This is his high school photo, which is dated in 1980. We know his birthday. He was born on June 3rd. We know the high school that he attended. You might be asking, how do we know all this? I will post the link to the website, which appeared last year, and it revealed all of that. And it shows enough that the average person will not, there shouldn't be any question in their mind. Any sane, rational person will see enough evidence to show that that is Gary's high school photo. Now let me explain where I got this photo. Tom Rabbit had a video which came out fairly recently, which was a face reveal of Darth Dawkins on TikTok. Now, that same day, or possibly the following day, there was a live stream in Discord, in Clubhouse, where they were talking about this face reveal. And one of the things that came up was this photo. I can't say with 100% accuracy, but I believe it actually was Tom Rabbit that posted this photo. And he said, and this part I do remember like it was yesterday, all right? He said that this photo is going back to some of the earliest days where Darth was on social media. It could be going back earlier than even Google+. So in other words, this is probably from Pal Talk or close to that time frame. It would be earlier than when he was in Discord. It would be earlier than when he was in Clubhouse, or even earlier than when he was in Google. So this was a photo that appeared as a profile photo that Darth was using. Now, this next photo, okay, now I'm going to get to the nitty-gritty, okay? I'm going to show you the 3 recent photos, but one more thing I'm going to show you before I do that. I'm going to show you a photo of Carol. This is Gary's or Darth's ex. Now, it's raining here right now. It just started raining, so I hope this will not affect the audio too much. But here is the first photo that I want to show you, which is related to Carol. Now, we know from some social media, more than one source, this is the house on 40 Carla Way. You can even see the number near the door. This is the house where Gary and Carol lived together, and it was one of the places that they started out in. It may not have been the very original place where they first got married, but it was one of the houses that they shared together from the time the kids were very small. Okay, I'm talking about going back to, this would be the 90s, okay? Now, that photo, you can see the number there. Now, I'm going to show you another photo, which is, by the way, this photo appeared on more than one video and also on more than one social media. I will leave the link to the website, and you can see a lot more photos. I'll leave that in the description area. This is a photo of Carol with all 5 kids. All right, the youngest one is on the far left, and the man holding it, that is Gary, but they cut him out of the photo. Carol, or whoever it was, this was after they had divorced or separated, they cut him out of the photo because they didn't want to see him in that photo. Now, if you look at the top, the number 40 appears there, and you can even see this on Google Images. That number 40 is still there on that house. All right, 40 Carla Drive, that's in New Jersey. Okay, now I'm going to show you the other 3 photos. I'm going to leave the best one for last. When I say the best, it means the most incriminating photo. Okay, the one that would stand up in a court of law. Okay, but I'm going to show you the other 2 first. Okay, the photo that you're looking at now, Carol has 2 brothers. The first brother is on the far left, the tall one. The second brother is the groom, standing next to Carol. You can see the groom, you can see the bride. Carol is holding the baby, which at that time was the youngest baby. Andrew had not yet been born. But the baby, it was very young there. That's the next one up after Andrew. So when we look at this photo, we can see the 2 brothers of Carol. We can also see the mother and father. And we can see the 4 children and the bride and the groom. Who do you think that is on the far right, standing next to Carol? Now look at that photo and compare it to the previous photo, the headshot that I showed you. Decide whether or not you think that's the same person. Now remember, the headshot that I showed you earlier was a little later. So you can see that there's a little difference in the hair color. Okay, I'm going to show you the next photo. This photo was taken the same day. They all have on the same clothes. Again, it shows the 2 brothers, the mother and father, the 4 kids, the bride and the groom, and Carol standing next to the gentleman holding the baby. That gentleman is the same person that was in the previous photo. All right? Now, I'm going to show you the last photo, which is the most incriminating photo. Okay? Here it is. Now, first, look at the number on the right side by the door. 40. Same people. This was not the same day. Well, I can't say it wasn't the same day. Maybe it was before or after the wedding. But they're dressed in different clothes. But it's the same. You can see the 2 brothers. The first one is the father. The first one on the left, that's the father. The next 2 are the brothers of Carol. The 4th one is Carol. Then you can see the kids. 3 of the kids are in front. And after Carol, there is the baby, and a gentleman is holding that baby. And then you see that would be the same lady that's in the bridal photo, all right, where they were standing next to each other. That would be Carol's sister-in-law, all right? It would be her husband's wife, okay? And there, again, is what I would consider to be the most incriminating evidence. We know that they lived at 40 Carla Way. That is on more than one social media. It's even in records if you want to dig for it. You can find it in social records. If you do the investigating, you can find that actually showing up in what I would call background information. You can find that online. In fact, everything I've shown in this video is available publicly. I did not find it on a private website. Everything is either given to me or found on a publicly accessible websites. So none of it is doxing. It's already public. So I want to close out the video. Please feel free to leave your comments. I would love to hear any comments you have. If you have any questions, I will do my very best to answer. And I appreciate you watching it. Please hit the like button. If you have not yet subscribed, please do that. Remember, the links will be shown. There will be different links showing in the description area that will show further supporting evidence. So thank you for watching. Take care.